CNN is ready to make another projection right now. CNN can project that Colorado and its 9 electoral votes will be won by President Bush. Colorado, as expected, we had thought earlier on there could be some sort of contest there, but Colorado, we project, will go for President Bush, adding another 9 electoral votes for the president. We could make another projection at this moment now, 12:26 on the East Coast. CNN can project, in addition to Colorado, that Montana and its 3 electoral votes will go for the president. 3 more electoral votes for the president. That brings the race for the White House right now at this tally. The president with 237 electoral votes, John Kerry with 188 electoral votes, 270, the magic number. The blue states, as you see, are for Kerry. The red states are for Bush. Another 2 states going for John Kerry, for going for President Bush. Anderson Cooper is watching all these races as well as some other congressional races for us. He's joining us now live. Anderson?
Yeah, Wolf, at this point, let's take a look at the balance of power in the House. 211 Republicans so far, 181 Democrats. Yes, 211, 180 Democrats. At this point, we can say the Republicans will retain control of the House of Representatives. We're still watching the Senate. I want to bring in Amy Walter, the Cook Political Report, monitoring several of these close races, some of these interesting races in the House. Let's take a look at that over here, if we can. We're really looking at 6 main House races that sort of give a sense of what's happening around the country.
Well, what we wanted to do is look at where some of these swing districts are. Now, some of these are interesting parts of the country for the presidential race as well. Places in the Northeast, Connecticut, where we're looking at 2 Republican incumbents in a state that went for John Kerry. They're up there now.
Let's take a look at this. In Connecticut, Rob Simmons maintaining his seat. Also in Connecticut, Christopher Shays retaining his seat.
You know, Democrats are really hopeful that the Northeast, which is starting to now trend much more towards Democrats at the national level, was going to do the same at the congressional level. That didn't happen. Big disappointment there for Democrats. Texas, same.
Texas, a major story, a lot of redistricting going on. Both of these are representatives. Frost is out.
And Martin Frost is one of the higher-ranking members of the Democratic leadership team, redistricted it into a very Republican seat. This is what Texas, the redistricting here, means that Democrats really started off back on their heels and really in a hole and trying to dig out of that.
Let's stay down here looking at Kentucky. Some star power in this race.
Yes.
Actor George Clooney's father running as a Democrat, a longtime newscaster there. Not enough to give him the lead here.
Not in a state that went so strongly for George Bush, even Clooney's name ID. And you're right, it was more than just he was George Clooney's dad, but as a longtime TV anchor, he had his own personality and people knew him quite well, but that just wasn't enough in a tough state.
As you look at this Pennsylvania race and also the Arizona race, Republicans winning on both of those, what do you see? What jumps out?
I see that these are 2 swing districts. Again, both were held by Republicans. The 8th district is an open seat. This is Bucks County, Pennsylvania, county in the suburban Philadelphia area that had been going for Republicans for a long time. It is moving, but unfortunately for Democrats, they couldn't do that, any better there. Fitzpatrick winning quite handily. And in Arizona, where Rick Renzi, the Republican incumbent, won very narrowly last time in a very swing district, looks like he's going to have a big win on his part. He ran a very, very good, strong campaign.
So these 6 races giving you a sense of what is going on around the country right now. Republicans, we can project at this point, retaining control in the House. Wolf?
Anderson and Amy, thank you very much. Let's bring in the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Dennis Hastert from Illinois. CNN has projected, Mr. Speaker, you will remain the Speaker of the House of Representatives. We are projecting, no great surprise to you, that the Republicans will be in the majority. Go ahead and give us your reaction.
Well, thank you, Wolf. Of course, I always have one more election to go to be Speaker, but we hope that we can put that over the board. I'm pleased. We had some great pickups this year, this election. We've had some tough races, tight races. You talked about Rick Renzi in Arizona. He just worked hard, went back to his district, did the things that he needed to do. We also were pleasantly surprised in northern Kentucky, where we picked up a seat. We still have a seat down in southeast Indiana that is in play. We have a seat in the Central Valley of California that we could pick up. And we're holding the seats that we had to hold. We've lost a couple, but that was to be expected.
I assume you're looking at your colleagues in the Senate. Do you sense that the Republicans are going to maintain their majority in the U.S. Senate?
Well, right now, the way it appears, it looks like we've picked up a great pickup and held a seat that was in some trouble in Oklahoma, and had a great pickup there. Jim Bunning held on, which is very helpful. And then we've had pickups, it looks like, in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and of course we're waiting to see what happens in Florida.
Mr. Speaker, this is Larry King. What's the Republican problem in Illinois?
Well, you know, one of the things, it started, I think, at the Senate spot. Our candidate for Senate dropped out in July, which is late, and just kind of took the air out of our party. We've been struggling to come back with some problems that we've had in the last couple of years. But, you know, I look at it as also a challenge for us. We have some great young people coming up in the Republican Party. We have the Republican leader in the House, the Republican leader in the Senate, and a great chorus of young guys coming up, men and women that I think they've been the farm team, but they're going to have to step up and be the first team now. And we have, of course, a governor's race coming up in 2 years, and I think we're going to be back.
One final question, Mr. Speaker, before I let you go. What were you thinking when you brought in Alan Keyes from Maryland to be your candidate to challenge Barack Obama?
Well, you know, unfortunately, our candidate stepped out in July. In Illinois, it takes $6 or $8 or $10 million to get the name recognition you need to get. I interviewed 4 other candidates that I thought would have been good candidates. None of them thought they could raise the money to do it. To some, Alan Keyes meant that he could walk in, didn't need to have name recognition, and could take over. And it just didn't work out that way.
The Speaker of the House of Representatives, and presumably he will remain the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Dennis Hastert, once again, congratulations to you.
Thank you very much.
We're going to take a quick break right now, but we're going to continue our coverage. When we come back, we'll take a very close look at the actual numbers in Ohio, that state shaping up to be pivotal, as so many of us expected. We'll see what the actual raw numbers are. We'll see what's happening in Ohio right after this break.
CNN's coverage of America Votes 2004 is brought to you.
More Americans watch CNN than any other news channel.
Want to update the Electoral College tally that we have right now. The race for the White House with 270 Electoral College votes needed to be elected president. Right now, we've projected President Bush will carry 246 electoral votes, John Kerry 188. 246 to 188, 270 being needed to win this race. Let's take a look at the popular vote as it stands right now. President Bush has got about 51% of the vote, just more than 45.5 million votes. John Kerry with 48% of the vote, 42.6 million votes. Ralph Nader 1%, 316,000 votes. This is with 71% of the precincts reporting. Jeff Greenfield, this is almost, what, a 3 million spread?
It's very close to a 3 million vote spread, and we have never in American history seen a situation where a popular vote spread that big could remotely lead to an electoral college win for the other guy. I'm not predicting that because Ohio's still out. The other thing is, this is suggesting a turnout of about 115 to 120 million. Everybody assumed that if turnout was that high, that had to benefit John Kerry. The numbers in the popular vote simply don't show it, Wolf.
And one other quick thing, the poll showed 49-49. That's wrong.
Well, not wrong yet. Not wrong yet. There's still more than almost 30% to go.
And I think if he wins Ohio and Alaska, he wins, right? Ohio's 20. I think it's over.
Well, Ohio, there's no doubt, is a key state. We're watching Ohio. That sets the stage for Bill Hemmer. No one is taking as close a look at Ohio as Bill Hemmer is. For one thing, he's from Ohio. He knows that state quite well.
Wolf, good evening again, or we should say good morning. It's 12:38 a.m. back in Columbus, Ohio. We're starting to crunch the numbers in the state, trying to figure out with George Bush about a 3-point lead right now in the overall vote count. But where does he need to get votes? And then conversely, where does John Kerry need to get votes? We've been using spatial logic, a great new software system throughout the night here, and it's revealing some very interesting things too.